I'm Karen. You're watching Catching Up with Karen Mom Talk. This is episode 2. We're going to be talking about morning sickness. In all honesty, I didn't start thinking about morning sickness until I actually started to throw up. It was uncharted territory, and there was so much for me to learn. A lot of my pregnancy was uncharted territory, and I did end up learning a lot as it was going on. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned about morning sickness is that it doesn't just happen in the morning. I know. So I would work from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. So had morning sickness only been in the morning, I would be throwing up when I got home. That was not the case. I would start throwing up as soon as I clocked into work. So that was my morning sickness. Now let's talk about what it is. Morning sickness is the nauseous feeling that you get during your first trimester. It's not really known why it happens. There are a couple of theories. One of the most common theories, or one of the reasons your doctor might tell you, is because of increased hormones in your body. Regular morning sickness is not harmful to you or to your baby. Again, like previous episode, I am emphasizing regular, I am emphasizing normal, because there are times when it's not normal. So when can it hit you? It usually starts around 6 weeks of gestation or 6 weeks of your pregnancy, and it stops around the 12th or 18th week of your pregnancy. I know, that's a whole trimester right there. More than 50% of women experience it, around 2/3. That is a lot of people, but you still have that 1/3 who don't get morning sickness. Lucky bugs. There are some morning sickness fun facts. So 2 scientists, Hook and Profe, hypothesized that morning sickness protects the embryo by causing pregnant women to physically expel and subsequently avoid foods that contain teratogenic and abortifacient chemicals, especially toxic chemicals in strong-tasting vegetables, caffeinated drinks, and alcohol. So let's talk about what an abortifacient is. It's in the word. I'll write it down right here. Means that it'll induce an abortion. So those are big no-nos. Those are foods we want to avoid. So what this whole thing is trying to say is that you'll throw up or have strong aversions to foods or drinks that could potentially harm or affect you or the baby. Now here's another clip from the study. And as a result, pregnant women are more vulnerable to serious, often deadly infections. We hypothesize that morning sickness causes women to avoid foods that might be dangerous to themselves or their embryos, especially foods that prior to widespread refrigeration were likely to be heavily laden with microorganisms and their toxins. So in lay terms, what does this mean? They noticed that morning sickness and food aversions show signs of being a survival trait that's passed down from generation to generation. So we tend to be more, we tend to get sick, or we tend to avoid foods that in the past could have gotten us sick because they weren't refrigerated right, they weren't treated right, they didn't have the right tools, or didn't know how to care or cure the food the right way that now we do know. We'll see it in things like when we get aversions to chicken or poultry, pork. Those were my big ones. My husband would heat up hot wings and it would stink up the house, and I would go throw up and tell him he can leave those hot wings. Or even he would heat up carnitas not knowing it was pork, and we could not be in the same room together. could not, would not, it just, I couldn't. But it's like fun to know why that happens. So poultry and pork are both big ones that can carry parasites and small microorganisms that produce toxins that could have affected me and baby if it wasn't treated right. That's why there are dietary restrictions. Like, you can't eat sushi, you can't eat deli meats, you can't eat, rare steak. And that's because you're more susceptible to illnesses. Your immune system is not only just trying to protect you, but also protect your baby, and it's spread pretty thin. If you were to get any of those illnesses from food, it could be not good. Now let's get into the reason you're probably watching this video: how to help ease morning sickness. You want to make sure you eat often. Eating small meals often helps with the nausea. If you eat too much too fast, you could get nauseous and throw up. If you don't eat enough, you could get nauseous. It's just walking on eggshells and thin ice this first trimester. You want to make sure that you eat before you get hungry, because like I was saying, as soon as you get hungry, you will get nauseous, and then it's no fun from there. Make sure you're drinking fluids and getting enough electrolytes to avoid dehydration. In the previous episode, we were talking about the importance of electrolytes. So when you're throwing up, you're not just throwing up all that liquid, you're throwing up everything. And you need those electrolytes to be able to absorb your hydration. Ginger. Definitely recommend ginger. It helps a lot with nausea. And, you know, it's recommended when you get motion sickness too. So motion sickness, morning sickness, things that helped me survive my morning sickness. One of the, like, I was pushing ginger. One of the products that really helped me survive, because honestly it felt like I was hungover every day. I had never been hungover, and I'm pretty sure that that's what hungover feels like, and it was horrible. It was just not fun. Not my best moment in my pregnancy. So I want to talk about a product. My favorite product during my pregnancy, during my morning sickness first trimester episodes, was Pink Stork morning sickness tea. It's this right here. I still have a can from when I was pregnant. I actually bought 3 of these and went through a total of 1. But I have 3, one for my car, one to have at my lockers at work, and one to have here at home all the time. I would always have one of these on hand. That is how much I hated having morning sickness. I'm gonna go ahead and read to you what it says right here. It says, Pink Stork tea is a unique blend of potent organic ginger and Ceylon black tea from the mountains of Sri Lanka, designed to help when pregnancy nausea is putting a downer on your day. It sure was doing that. Tea is whole leaf tea and biodegradable pyramid sachets. Whole leaf means better quality herbs, better taste, and better health benefits for faster, more effective results. Enjoy natural relief from morning sickness. So the ingredients are natural peach flavor, black tea leaves, and ginger rhizome. And it says here, the best use: drink 1 to 3 cups per day. Each sachet produces 2 cups of tea. Pour 8 ounces freshly boiled filtered water over 1 sachet and steep for 5 minutes. Repeat for the 2nd cup. Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and open this. So as soon as you open it, it smells like peaches. It's just peach, 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 peach. And here, this is what one of the sachets looks like. It's a cute little mesh holder, the little and it's again shaped like a pyramid. It does say it's biodegradable, which is cool. It's nice to know that, you know, when these end up in a landfill, it doesn't like stay there forever. Peaches. So I'm gonna tell you how I like smelling it. I'm gonna tell you how I would make it. I would go ahead, pour it with boiling water. That's how I would start it. I would start it before I headed to work. That way, by the time I got to work, it was steeped long enough and it was cool enough for me to just add ice. I would add honey while it was hot, so I would go ahead and sweeten it. The reason I liked it iced was because once I would finish it, I would have that nice like chunk of fresh gingered ice, but also because I am not a big fan of peaches. So when I would drink it hot, the flavor that would come through really strongly was the peaches, but when I would drink it iced, the two flavors that would really come through were the ginger and the honey, which, you know, made it very palatable for me. I could not live without this. I also want to talk about B6 vitamins. I didn't know this when I was pregnant. I only found this out recently, but apparently B6 vitamins help with nausea. If you're not a big fan of teas, whether it's hot or cold, you're already trying everything you can talk to your doctor about taking B6 vitamins to help with your nausea. The typical dose is 10 milligrams to 25 milligrams and never ever more than 100 milligrams. Don't forget to speak to your doctor before taking any type of medication or vitamins. Thank you for tuning in, for watching, and I hope you tune in for the next episode. I find this super exciting. Thank you. Bye.